Commander Zexhai of the Corvani Empire had witnessed the fall of 13 star systems to human forces. Each battle report painted the same terrifying picture: humans who fought with impossible tenacity, who treated death as merely an inconvenience, who somehow turned every tactical disadvantage into victory through sheer incomprehensible stubbornness. The Corvani had ruled the galaxy for 3 millennia. They were apex predators from a world of endless night, evolved to hunt in perfect silence and strike without warning. Their military doctrine was flawless, their technology superior, their warriors trained from birth in the art of efficient killing. Yet these newcomers, these soft pink mammals from a backwater world, had shattered everything the Corvani understood about warfare. Now, as his scout ship approached the human colony of New Haven, Zexhai prepared for what High Command believed would be their final push. Intelligence suggested this world housed a critical military training facility. Destroy it, and perhaps they could finally break human morale. The landing was unopposed. Too easy, Zexhai thought, his mandibles clicking nervously as his strike team moved through the settlement's outskirts. The architecture was typical human simplicity: low buildings, wide spaces, inefficient use of resources. Weak. Then he heard it. The sound that would haunt him for the rest of his days. Laughter. High-pitched, joyful, utterly carefree laughter echoing from a large open area ahead. Zexhai signaled his warriors to advance with caution. Perhaps the humans had finally succumbed to madness. What they found defied every tactical manual ever written. In a vast field, dozens of small humans, juveniles, Zexhai realized, were engaged in what appeared to be combat. But not real combat. They carried crude replicas of weapons, wore mismatched armor that seemed more costume than protection, and ran around with an energy that seemed to defy the very concept of military discipline. "Target acquired," shrieked one tiny human, no more than 8 standard years old, as she dove behind a barrier made of stacked containers. "Covering fire!" A group of even smaller humans responded by lobbing soft projectiles at an opposing force. The enemy team, equally diminutive, scattered with theatrical screams of mock terror and delight. Zexhai's 4 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of severe confusion among his species. What are they doing?" His lieutenant, Vexmore, consulted his scanner. "Commander, these appear to be human offspring, pre-combat age, but they seem to be simulating warfare." As they watched, a particularly small human, barely reaching Zexhai's knee, orchestrated an elaborate flanking maneuver that would have impressed seasoned Corvani tacticians. The child used hand signals, coordinated her team's movement, and executed a pincer attack that completely overwhelmed the opposing force. "I win!" she declared, standing atop a play structure with a foam weapon raised triumphantly above her head. "Good game, everyone." The defeated team immediately began discussing what had gone wrong with their defense, analyzing their tactical errors with the same intensity Zexhai had seen in military debriefings. "This is impossible," whispered Vexmore. "They're children, young ones, yet they demonstrate strategic thinking that rivals our academy graduates." A new voice interrupted their observation. "Excuse me, but you're not supposed to be here." The Corvani spun to find a human adult, a female, based on their intelligence files, approaching calmly. She showed no fear, despite being faced with 8-foot-tall armored predators carrying plasma weapons. "I'm Sarah Martinez, the playground supervisor," she continued conversationally. "Are you here for the cultural exchange program? Because visiting hours don't start until—" "Silence!" Zexhai snarled, raising his weapon. "We are Corvani warriors. Oh wow, real aliens." The tiny general who had just won the mock battle came running over, her foam weapon forgotten. "Are you here to play war with us? We could teach you our rules." More children began gathering, chattering excitedly and examining the Corvani with curious eyes rather than fearful ones. Zexhai found himself backing away from the advancing horde of miniature humans. "Ma'am," one child said politely to the supervisor, "can we show them our fort? I bet they'd like our siege warfare techniques." "That's very thoughtful, Emma," Sarah replied, "but I don't think—" "Siege warfare?" Zexhai's voice cracked. "These infants practice siege warfare?" Emma nodded enthusiastically. "Oh yes. Last week we did the Battle of Thermopylae, and tomorrow we're planning D-Day. Want to be on the German team? Someone has to lose, and it's more fun when the adults play because you're taller and make better targets." The concept struck Zexhai like a plasma bolt to the consciousness. These weren't soldiers. These weren't even trainees. These were children who found warfare so natural, so instinctive, that they played at it for entertainment. They studied the galaxy's greatest battles not out of duty or necessity, but for fun. He thought of his own offspring, raised in creche schools where they learned to hunt efficiently and strike silently. Serious business, life and death skills. These human young ones treated the complexities of military strategy like a game, and in doing so, had somehow mastered concepts that took Corvani warriors years to learn. "Commander," Bexmore's voice was barely a whisper, "if their children play at war with this level of sophistication, what must their actual soldiers be capable of?" Emma, oblivious to the existential crisis she was causing, tugged on Zexhai's armored leg. "Hey, Mr. Alien, do you want to see our medieval combat section? Tommy's really good with the siege engines." In the distance, Zexhai could see more children engaged in elaborate historical recreations. Roman legions faced off against Viking raiders, while another group appeared to be reenacting space battles with remarkable attention to three-dimensional tactics. For the first time in his military career, Commander Zexhai of the Corvani Empire understood what true fear felt like. Not fear of human soldiers, he had learned to respect them in battle. This was fear of what created those soldiers. Without a word, he signaled his team to withdraw. There would be no attack on New Haven today or any day. Some battles, he realized, were lost before they ever began. Behind them, the laughter continued,